O'Keefe for the biggest moment in his footy career. The kick is only 40 metres. It has to be a goal. It is a goal. It's a goal. Keefe's got it.
Welcome to Little Birdie Podcast. I'm your host, Scoot, and this is Thursday Lines, all-action look at AFL and NRL. We've got Nick Tedeschi joining us. He's our rugby league expert, and now I get the inside scoop. He's the captain, maybe, of the Badlands Bulls darts team. Toprope, how are you, brother?
I'm great, brother. Certainly not the captain. The last meeting, hopefully keep a spot for the finals, but just plodding along as a rookie, just doing my best.
How far gone are you when you join a pub darts team?
How far back are you? Is the question that could be asked. How far back are you? What are you doing on Wednesday night? Nothing. That's the tip. No one's doing anything. Wednesday night's a great night for darts.
MG, what do you think of this rubbish?
I love it. I asked Toprope, can we live stream it? Surely there's got to be some live betting action at some stage. No wonder he's joined Scoot on a Wednesday night and he gets free pots while he's playing. Might have to go check out my local Scoot.
Oh dear, what's the sweet spot, Toprope? How many beers in do you find your sweet spot? Usually on the pool table. If I have about 6 beers, I can start to play okay. But what about you on the darts?
We're going to drive home, so 2 to 3 is the legal level where we get through their Scoots. we haven't really tested above and beyond that. Hopefully, with a few more, I might have taken a little less time on double one last night to get home, but we'll find out in the future.
All right, well, we're not going to cover any darts action, and that's not going to be a new segment of the show, but we'll talk a little bit of rugby league. And the big news in the NRL is Brandon Smith, hectic cheese. He's going to leave the Chooks, and he's going to the South Sydney Rabbitohs, which is music to my ears. But when's he likely to move, and what's the story here, Toprope?
Well, it's the latest chapter in the book of feuds between two clubs of each other more than any Australian sport, so it's always good fun to say. Well, the Roosters don't want cheese. Cheese is hurt. They are wanting to just Henry Thorpe's New South Wales hooker. So he's leaving anyway. South maybe have a little inkling that they could sneak into the finals this year. They started well. Peter Mamazoulis put out the start of the season as hot as everyone had hoped, following off from Damien Cook. So they're looking to get cheese as soon as possible. Probably not back to, I think, around round 8 anyway. But the Roosters won't let him go. So we're going to see some negotiations, and I dare say he'll be at South for the June 30 deadline.
Wow. Exciting times. Hopefully they can get or keep their season on track until then, and maybe a backdoor cover for the finals. Let's have a look at the NRL results. There was a couple of topsy-turvy ones. The Warriors, Roosters and the Raiders were the big upsets. The Fays went 4-8. They covered 4-8, and then the totals were 50-50 as well, 4-8. Knights 26, Dolphins 12. Warriors 36-16 to the Eagles. Roosters 38-32 against the Panthers. So amazing, and you were all over the Roosters plus. So hat tip there. I didn't believe. Baby out with the bathwater, Scoot. Surprise, surprise. But Rabbitohs are holding firm, 25/24 in a nail biter. Sharks 36-12, Raiders 32-22, and then you got the Tigers 32-6, and then Bulldogs were 40-24 with my 8th team, the Titans, getting a drubbing there. So what say you now about the Panthers? I guess that's the biggest story, Toprope.
I'm not worried about the Panthers at all, based on that. It was the biggest upset since I've been keeping stats in 2008. So we could be going back over kind of 2 decades for how big it is. And given the size of the line, might be the biggest upset in many, many years in the NRL. They had one eye on this game for sure. They had one eye on Melbourne this week. Then in Melbourne was Thursday night. Yep, I took it easy. I didn't want to see a little bit from Penrith this year. This is probably not. They probably left the depth and the experience to just kind of roll over teams week after week after week. Having done that for the better part of 5 years, we were seeing a bit more of a kind of regular season topsy-turvy Panthers this year. But for the big games, I expect to get. We saw it in round 1. Yeah, all the sharp money was for the Sharks, and the Panthers absolutely sharp. I think they'll be showing up this week. So not worried at all. Dylan Edwards injured, missed a few weeks, but I'm not worried at all about the Panthers.
Bit of Broncos regression. Anything for the YouTube comments or trolls out there?
Oh, I'm waiting for my apologies. So, no, it's this is what we're going to see from the Broncos this year. I just don't think they're that good. They're an arrogant team, and I say that is not completely pejorative, a little bit pejorative, but they're a team that when they get on the front foot, they can absolutely go and blast teams off 50, and they will do that, 4 or 5 times this year. I'm not surprised. This week, the hardest game for mine to figure out, and we'll get to it, is the Broncos. Broncos scoring about 50, or the Cowboys could win. It's that. They're that kind of team. The Brisbane Broncos. So I'm not real. I'll take some out. I'll hold the same view of the Broncos that I did before the season. Yeah, they had one big win, one very disappointing loss to the big favourite. So that for mine, that fringe 8 team and having them on third line of betting for premiership is absolutely insane.
That's enough to get the comments stirring for sure. AFL World MG, AFL Tribunal, run by complete and absolute idiots. Jack Scrimshaw, 3 weeks, unbelievable. Probably won. Thank God he's got a broken nose anyway, so it's a little bit irrelevant and the Hawks are flying. But Clown World and then Jackson Archer for 3 weeks. The nightmare just doesn't end. This is absurd, and there's just no common sense filter applied to the findings.
Yeah, agree, Scoot. Yeah, we spoke just before we come on. I just think it's been a balls up for a while now. They refuse to fix it. They can just keep going down the same rabbit holes and Band-Aid solutions. But yeah, they've got a couple wrong to start the year off. I don't know what they're going to do, Scoot. They had a chance in the off-season to start again, scrap the current system, put it out to tender, do whatever they wanted to fix it, and they just refused to. So now it's just outcome-based, and yeah, it seems like it's 3 weeks is going to be the standard for anyone that goes off the centre line these days. But yeah, it's not a good look for the game, is it, Scoot, with minor incidents, and I know if they end up with concussion, so be it, but it's a bit of a roll the dice situation, and I think the game's about having your best players on the park as often as possible, and 3 weeks for those kind of incidents, just too many.
Well, exactly. If someone dares to break wind on the final round of the home and away season, they might miss the grand final.
Yeah.
Like, it will. It's going to raise its head pretty ugly, and they'll set this precedent where they're going to make an absolute balls up of it later in the season, and it's going to cost a team final, or if not a win or a spot in a grand final. Absolute clown world, and just much of the same for the AFL. Disgrace. Let's have a look at the results, though. Faves went 8-9, so shot pretty straight, and you were on fire as well. They covered 5 of 9, and the totals were 6-9 to the over. The Tiggy train, I went to bed at half time. I wasn't a believer, 82-69, and the Carlton fans just gave him an absolute bake. Probably as entertaining as the match itself, or the highlights that I saw from the Richmond game was just Carlton fans. They just eat their own as good as any, which as a sight to behold. The Hawks 111-85 over Essendon. You had the Cats just steamroll Freo 147-69, despite some big off-field drama. The Cats are shining bright there. Brisbane in a close one over the Swans 86-82. You got the Doggies over the Kangaroos, who are showing a bit of life. The Roos 113-97, and then you got Collingwood, that GWS form that rung true 136-45. Everyone wants to eat Ken Hinkley, so much of the same as Port. They're probably second behind the Carlton fans in terms of eating their own. Adelaide were good against the Saints, who are absolutely wayward. Ross Lyon will be on his last legs there, 135-72. GWS fell in and saved me from eating baked beans. I had the Hawks GWS double, and there was a fair bit of sweat around the nether regions there, and I was happy that they found a way. Gold Coast Suns 136-49 over West Coast, and everyone's now worried that Harley Reid is going to go back over East and brush the West Coast Eagles if they can't get their act together. But new record set in the AFL attendance record of 431,000 despite a disjointed season start. So maybe the teaser is working for the AFL, much to the disgust of the Rusted-On fans, but they're voting with their feet and still turning up anyway, which is interesting. NBL last night, so they're going to go to Game 5 in the NBL, and so Hawks are now 165, United are 225, and that's on Sunday night. So if you're a basketball fan, make sure you check that one out. It'll be a cliffhanger. And Formula One, that was interesting. Probably the interesting part was the rain about, made it a bit of a wet and wild affair. And it was good to see Lando Norris go well. But then obviously Piastri crashed out, and that was a bit of a Debbie Downer. Speaking of Debbie Downers, JJ Spawn fluffed it, and Rory snuck one in, But then the playoff the next day was a bit of shambles. Top rope, I guess this one's for you. Rory's in pretty good form, I would have thought, over the last 6 to 12 months.
Like,
okay.
the question's going to be, should I back into the Masters? Like, yeah, anyone with any kind of proven credentials at AC, you would have lost that. You would have lost the place. So, got very, very lucky in the playoff when Spawn put in the water. So, yeah, it was a hard pass on Rory for the Masters. Fact is getting angry at people with, taking, sledging him and taking videos and just like, come on, Rory, too sensitive.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And I think he held his breath on that last putt to force the playoff. And, just sort of bobbled around and nearly skipped out. So I think I'd rather back the Broncos to win the NRL Grand Final than tackle him at Augusta. He will absolutely choke on that final 9 holes at Augusta if he gets in contention. So I'm glad that we're much aligned on that one, Top Rope. Let's have a quick look at AFL Premiership prices, and this starts to get me excited. Hawthorn are now favourite at Top Sport, $5.50. Brisbane Lions $6.50. GWS $6.50. The Cats $7.50. Collingwood $9. Fremantle $13. You can talk about Hawks all you want here, MG, if you like.
Let's not get overexcited, Scoot. They got off to a good start. They've won both their games solid. We thought the start of the year they were a top 4 side, so I don't think too much has changed in the early doors. I think market's starting to shake itself out. I think the top 3 sides, and I think Geelong actually, so the top 4 probably might settle in for a bit, Scoot. I think Hawthorn play GWS maybe next week or the week after, so that might give us a pointer to who might hold favouritism for a bit. But yeah, I think some of the weaker teams, or the pots like Carlton again, who I think started at $10 at the start of the year, they're starting to get out the gate as well. Sydney are obviously under pressure, 0-2, go to Freo this week, so they might be right out the gate if they go down 0-3 and dig themselves a hole. But yeah, strength at the top, Scoot.
Yeah, anyone listening to the show early doors from the start of the year would be happy with their positions on GWS that you advised, and then my Hawkers. So happy times at the moment with bookies a little bit sleepy or slow to get out of the blocks there. NRL Premiership, not much change here. $3.20 the Storm, $5.25 the Panthers, Broncos $5.50, still a mass lay for Top Rope. The Sharks are $9.75. Canterbury are going sneaky good at $15. And you got the Seagulls at $15. Raiders are a bit of a shorten as well at $23. Anything that you like, or any errors there, Top Rope?
I don't think there is. I think the market's kind of adjusting in the right direction on the Sharks, which is one of those tough ones. Again, they're a team I think will finish in the top 4, but do they have the upside to win? Probably not. They'll probably continue to shorten, I think, throughout the season. So making them a good bet to lay proposition. For mine, the Storm of the bet. They're against the players. They're a long way ahead of everyone else for mine. If they can stay healthy, they'll win the Premiership this year.
Outstanding. Just a big stamp of confidence there. Speaking of confidence, it's MG's AFL Sting package at the moment. So last week, we talked about it earlier, but 20.5 units bet, 112.5, and the good thing is everyone got a free look at it out of the email. So if you made some money, this will continue for the rest of the year. So I think MG, you've only you got narrowly beaten 1 out of the last 4 years. So had 1 losing season. So you're mad not to chime into that at $22 per week, or it's even cheaper if you go the lot. So you only pay for 23 weeks. So that kicks in this week. So if you still want to follow his AFL stuff and get the lot, make sure you subscribe today or tomorrow, and anytime you can just jump on board there. Top Rope, bit of a trickier start for you. 4 wins, 3 losses, 19 units bet, and then you just got nutted there, 1.9 units. So slower start for you. Any comment around the slow start?
Well, it's been a tough time for home underdogs, and that's the home underdogs and unders. So it's kind of maybe this is one of those years where we're transitioning away from the traditional angles that play well in the season. So normally this is when the money gets made. So it's been a disappointing start, no doubt about that. But we'll fight on, and we probably got out of trouble last week with the try scorers. The try scorers were bang on last week. So hopefully we can find a few wins this week.
All right, let's get into Thursday night football action. And tonight's game is Carlton and Hawthorn at the MCG. $1.40 the Hawks at Top Sport, $2.95 the Blues, 15.5 the line, 158.5. Carlton have to come out roaring here, MG.
Yeah, against your Hawks. Found this a tricky game, Scoot. I think the market's spot on. My ratings as well. The rain is on the way. We're recording this Thursday morning, and the rain will come this afternoon before the match and may lighten off maybe the first half or so, and then it might come back the second half. So, this is going to be tricky. The total's fallen out of the sky a bit, Scoot. 169 down to 160. I think it'll finish in the 150s as it'll rain for a couple of hours leading up to the match. But, the bounce back factor here makes it probably a stay out for me in the line, Scoot. I think on form and paper, Hawthorn will do a job. Obviously, if it is raining, Curno's a big key, and obviously they got belted by Richmond after leading by 41 points. One of the biggest upsets in history that we've seen. 48-point favourites up 41 and get beaten by 13. So the bounce back factor, Curnow will make a big difference, straighten them right up. But I just think there's a clear class edge to Hawthorn on paper. I think they'll get the job done. But yeah, just going to it might be a late play if you're logged into your Telegram. There might be a late play towards the end of the day, either the under or the over, depending on the weather. But yeah, at this stage, Scoot, I think it's a bit of a powder dry. But if you like Hawthorn, I'm not going to talk you out of it. But yeah, don't be surprised if Carlton put in a much better performance than they did last week.
Yeah, I think Carlton, the weather's the only thing that can save them. I think the Hawks are a great way to start a filthy little weekend multi, and I'll be all over the Hawks at $1.40, and if they drift to $1.50, I'll back them again. But God has sent some rain to help them, but it may not be enough. So good luck to all the Carlton supporters, and I hope they give a better account of themselves, because that's a horror way to start anyone's season. On a serious note, I did feel a little bit sorry for the Carlton supporters, because that was absolute junk that they served up. Cracking match, Melbourne Storm versus Penrith Panthers to open round 3, and MG might sneak down for this one. $1.31 Storm, Penrith Panthers 3.45, 9.5 looks a big line here against some traditional rivals, Toprope, and then the total's 45.5. How are you playing?
Well, raining Melbourne, no surprise there. So we will naturally start off with the under in this one. The under is 2011 since 2008 return. So some real good angles here. 72.4% opening month. Last 4 years when a team was often seeing 38 plus, 66% when often seeing 18 plus, 65%, 65.7% when a team in a state in the first month of the year. So big unders angle to start with. Cannot believe the line of this game. This is one of the great overreactions to 1 week I've ever seen in my life. Panthers getting 9.5 points. They won 4 premierships on the trot. But, yeah, Dylan Edwards is out. Still Nathan Cleary. He goes right. Stunned by this line. You've got to back Penrith. There's absolutely no what. If you're laying 9.5, yeah, Storm for win by 20. Good luck to you. But you will be absolutely sick if you do not go on back Penrith and they cover or win this game. So, Penrith are a bet straight out. Penrith are a bet up plus. 15-2 against the spread off a loss. The Panthers 7-2 against the spread as an underdog. We've covered 4 or 5 between 20 plus. I was bet last week there's a 1 eye on this game. Off a trip from Vegas. How I'm all over the Panthers in this one.
God, I am so staunch a Storm minus, but the 9.5 is the juiciest thing I've seen in quite some time. MG, how do you see it?
Storm will win.
No, but the line, 9.5's a gift, the plus, isn't it?
I'm not going to go against Toprope, but yeah, I'm going to go there, probably enjoy a few beers, and Storm need to get revenge, Scoot. They've been pants in the grand final, so I'm only on Storm. We backed in pre-season for the flag, and I'm not going to go sit there and cheer on the Panthers, but Toprope's right in terms of the pricing. It's a bit like the Richmond-Carlton game last week, Scoot, it's 48.5 was just ridiculous price, so anyway, move on. But yeah, Storm will get the job done. They need to for their own peace of mind going forward, I think. Don't you reckon, Toprope?
Well, I think the Storm will probably win the gap.
Yeah.
But these guys traditionally play pretty close games, pretty low scoring games. I don't buy into the fact that they need to win. They've probably got more motivation to win, but grand final rematches don't really have any strong angles into. Sometimes the losing team wins, sometimes the team will beat them, wins again, follows them. So No real angles on that front. Going to be a deep dive onto that. The difference is the Storm are pretty healthier and slightly more motivated, but didn't remember for regular season's game last year. But I just don't know how you can let the 9.5 go. The 9.5 is the only way to bet this one.
Couldn't agree more. Friday night, Western Bulldogs and Collingwood. Collingwood $1.53 here, $2.45 the doggies, 9.5 the line, 173.5 the total. Ooh, this might be spot on from the bookies. I can't find an angle here, MG. What about you?
The angle was early, Scoot, for sure. Like Collingwood at the -5, they posted. The markets moved, a good couple of points our way, and that was it was good to see last week as well. I don't think we got beaten in the 8 plays. Didn't get beaten once by the market, so it's also a key indicator that maybe some of these books that don't have the talent in their shops to know what's going on. So it's just as important not only to back the winners but also to beat the market, in my opinion. So I think this is the case. It's getting towards the right place now, Scoot. I think 5.5 was a bit cheap. I think Bulldogs have got a lot of injuries. Probably got up to about 9 players that would be first picked in their side. They're still going to run without key midfielders, Treloar and the Bont, obviously, and Collingwood get back to Goey this week. So I'm just going to put down round 0 where they got obliterated by the Giants. That the Giants are just a better team than Collingwood, and Collingwood showed the bounce back factor last week, got the job done. I just think they're too good on paper for the Bulldogs. I don't think the line will move too much more. I'm not sure there's much more value in it either, Scoop. But 5.5 was cheap. At the MCG, head-to-head between these last two teams, a away side who's almost a home game here for Collingwood, won the last 6. So, I'm pretty bullish on the Pies, which is why we took the 5.5 earlier. I think they'll get the job done against a depleted Bulldogs.
Beautiful stuff. To Goey back and MG all over the Collingwood team. Friday night at Suncorp, we've got Broncos versus Cowboys. Might call it the Cowboy Crusher Derby. What do you think about that, Toprope? You love a derby, don't you? A derby?
I love a derby. I hate the ridiculous names AFL gets. So I got a hard pass on that one. Thanks, Scoot. I guess Q Clash is taken, so it's probably next in line. So, it's probably, at least for the meanwhile, the preeminent Queensland derby. I suspect the Broncos Dolphins will supersede it in coming years, but big line in this game, 7.5 points. Look, very hard to make cash for either side here. The Broncos were incredibly poor last week, and I think in games they're expected to win. If the opposition digs in early in the first 20 minutes, they're going to struggle a bit this year. So they've covered as one of the last 4 as a 16 points favourite, 16 plus favourite of a double-digit loss, 3-8 against the spread the last 4 years. Michael Maguire, 48 and 88 in the last 7 years as a club coach. Trent Barrett is the assistant of the Broncos. So a few niggles against the Broncos there. Cowboys, look, they've made some changes. Todd Payton's on the hot seat. He's absolutely going to be gone in a month if things don't turn around. He's recalled Jake Clifford at halfback. Now, he's an awful halfback, but he's a halfback that's that has some experience. So I think he's the best spot to kind of get the team around the path, and Tom Duffy, who was struggling a little bit there. I'll lower your bet, which I probably will. I'll be small on the Cowboys plus, but don't love this as a betting game. From a total point of view, all the traditional angles point to the under, but these two are very strong over teams. Have gone over in 7 straight, 6 of the last 7 have reached 50. Broncos are 18 and 12 to the over when they're favourite on all the converted try. So probably a lean the over there. Again, no official play. One play I'm looking forward to seeing, playing his second game, winger Robert Derby. First game in a couple of years. Papua New Guinea International, has a great try scoring record in Queensland Cup. Great try scoring record in International Arena. I'll be looking for every score to try to get $2.45 for him. So that's probably the best play to go.
Yeah, well, I just love the little sniff of the coach sacking. So 2 rounds under the belt, and there's a little bit of blood in the water, and old top rope shark just starts to circle. Hey? That's the best ever. It is the best ever. Can't have a sacking quick enough. Tell you what, AFL might just pip you because there's a lot of blokes absolutely on the nose down here. I'll let you give the egg flip. I might have to get Tristan to put up a market there. Who's going to drop a coach first, AFL or the NRL clubs? Let's have a look at St Kilda Geelong, and this could well be one of the first to go. Poor old Rossi line. You got the $1.26 Cats, which looks, I'd say, overs. $3.70 the Saints, 23.5 the line. Doesn't look enough. And 170.5 the total. I think Melbourne might have dried up by then, especially at Marvel. MG taught me out of backing the Cats and the heads up, and then Cats at the minus. Taught me out of it. Tell me why.
Well, Scoot, you should have, if you'd been following the Mail, you would have backed them last week when they were, a nice bookie in Sportsbet put up a week in advance. I wish they'd go back to their old of a couple of years ago where they put put up the whole season and we can work 2 or 3, 4 weeks in advance. But yeah, posting 12.5 last week was comical at best. So, happy we chimed in early there, Scoot. So you would have already had your chips in, got a few nice results going forward there. But yeah, open 20 this week, still not enough, Scoot. I think Top Sport might be about the best around at 23. There's definitely more 24s in the market. No reason why it just won't continue. I rated it more 25 and, maybe even a couple more points. At Marvel, St Kilda obviously, will help them. They've got a pretty good record head-to-head. They've won 3 of the last 5 against Geelong, and also the home team's won 6 straight. So there's a few factors that might bring St Kilda in. Also, they've covered 5 of the last 6 at the line head-to-head against Geelong. So, St Kilda stat-wise have got some plays, but geez, if you saw the form last week, Scoot, they were, I don't know how you call it against Adelaide. They were dismal. And then Geelong just crushed a very lacklustre Fremantle as well. So I just think these two sides are going in different directions, Scoot. I don't think the market was anywhere near close to us. It's better now, but yeah, I think if you can only back Geelong, and if you're going to back St Kilda, I'd wait the last possible point. You'll get the best value late. Pretty keen on the over here too, Scoot. 169. It's gone up to about 171, some 172. So again, Top Sport the best price at 170. Like the over here, Geelong 5 straight overs. Just the way they're playing, got speed on the ball, dominant forward line. I just think St Kilda, while they try and play defensive, I just don't think they're good enough to hold up against Geelong's forward line. So I think there'll be plenty of points, and Geelong will kick most of them. So it's double play, Scoot.
Yeah, the only thing the Saints will be winning is a new coach and a wooden spoon. So chips in Geelong and great shopping there, 12.5. That's exactly why you need the package. And I think it's one of the bets of the round at the minus already. So pile on to the Cats. Titans versus the Knights Saturday night at Seabus Stadium. Not sure why I haven't been asked into the box yet, but pick 'em, $1.90, and the line, it's evens if you want to take the 1.5, and then it's $1.80 if you want the plus 1.5 for the Knights, and the total's big here, 50.5. A little bit of rain around up at the Gold Coast today, but it should be hard and forced come Saturday night at 7:35 p.m. Toprope, how are you going to play it?
No, I missed the days of Tony Greig sticking the key into the pitch. It was better times. Better times. This is a bit of a dud of an affair. So you might have escaped one here, Stewie. But I'm sure if you give Tristan a bell, you'll be front and center in the box. I started looking at this game thinking I'd probably end up on the Titans here. I've come around and I'm small the Knights. I'm kind of small, a little bit larger the under. Knights have won 3 straight against the Titans. They've won 5 of the last 6, covered all of those wins. Key for me here is the Titans are very slow starters. They have covered just 3 of their last 12 round 1 to 4 games over the last 4 years. I'm not sure they've covered one under Des. No, they've got Feeder on the bench still. They were incredibly lacklustre last week. I was very disappointed. Now they've lost their best try scorer and Alafiana Khan Pereira. Newcastle, 13-6 against the spread against that, and they win games. They're expected to 22-10 against the spread when they're under $2. So they tend to win those and they tend to cover those as well. So, Linda was nice. Callum Plummer, best player on the field, and I absolutely love young Fletcher Sharp. He's great value for a try this week around. I think you get $2.90 on him. So he's an outstanding try scoring bet this week. Two pretty leery teams. They're best. They've won 50 plus in 5 straight, but But I'm sticking fat with the under here. Titans are an under team when they play at home at night. They're an under team with a bad defensive performance. They'll try and steal this week. Whereas 1-4 the last 4 years, the Knights are 12-2 the under, and that's kind of also factoring the early season interstate and night game. So, yeah, back in the under, I think it's a pretty big one.
Outstanding. All right, I'll be on the under, and I'll take the Knights as well. I think you've talked me into Gold Coast a little bit hapless at the moment, and Knights are sneaky good. Probably top 8 Knights.
Well, they've stuck into the 8 for the last 5 years, despite not even being close to one of the 8 bets thanks to the comp. So you wouldn't rule it out. They are sneaky like that, but no, not one of the 8 bets. No.
All right, Sydney Swans are looking down the barrel of a zip 3 start. So this is going to be a fascinating watch at 6:10 on Sunday. Dockers off that shocker at Geelong. You'd think they're going to bounce back with a bit of venom here on their home deck. $1.64, the Dockers at Top Sport. Swans 2.27.5 the line, 166.5 MG.
Yeah, two sides under pressure, Scoot. Fremantle wouldn't want to cough this up at home in front of their own crowd off last week's performance as well, especially to a side, I guess, like Sydney's 0-2 out of form as well. So, and Swans, if they lose, obviously going down 0-3, dig yourself a hole that makes it hard for the rest of the year. Both sides got injuries. I think there's going to be a sit and wait. I think the way the market's going to Fremantle pretty strongly, I'm just going to sit and wait and see how big it builds, and might chime in on Sydney once teams are announced, and just see how the rest of the week obviously just pans out. But yeah, I think Sydney might get to a bit of a price if they get up to, it's 7 at the moment. It's moved from 5. If it gets pushing more 10, I think they might be a play, and just going to sit and wait on the total as well. So again, Scoot, just sign up, get your telegram, and then you'll get the late play maybe on this game. But yeah, there's some options there, but at the moment we're just going to sit and wait, and we'll probably oppose the market which way it's trending.
Absolute crunch game there, so must-see TV. NRL last game is also at 6:15, and this is not a bad one either. Manly Seagulls $1.49 at Top Sport, 2.60 the Raiders, 6.5 the line, 49.5 the total here. Toprope.
That's piece of advice. This one is done back the side early. Tommy Trebojevic is in doubt for this one. Left for last week with an injury, given a late fitness test here, so big watch on that. Very keen on Manly for players. They've got a great record of book fail. Completely, that's one of those teams you want to back at home and be against away. The market kind of underrates them at home and overrates them on the road. They've covered 20 of 32 at book fail, 6-2 against the spread when favoured by at least a try, 12-5 against the spread book fail at night, 11-6 against the spread book fail off a loss. Raiders been very, very good this year, but might be time to get a little bit of dose of reality this week. They're 7-24 against the spread for win, but Dogs are 4 more scoring 30 against teams of conceding 30, cover it at 43% in the opening month of the year. So, leaning towards Manly here, but won't be betting until we've confirmed Trebojevic playing, because if Turbo is not playing, this is a different kettle of fish here. So, just look for news. Hope you hear Turbo's out for the Raiders line moves and jump on that 5.5. Total, backing the under in this one, like the under a lot, even though these two are Molotane. Sure, with highest history, the last 4 top 50 plus, but yeah, 66% in the last 4 years, rounds 1-4 in terms of conceding 8 or more. The Raiders, they're 10-4 to the under in rounds 1-4 the last 4 years. I'm backing under here with a good degree of confidence. One of the better totals, boy.
Outstanding. So under 49.5. And then, the early money's been for Manly 4.5 to 6.5. So early indications maybe that Tommy Turbo is going to play, but if the market swings back the other way, maybe less confidence there with the Manly minus. So might need to cover up or go for a magic number if you can hit a little bit of a split there. But that's a wrap from us this week on Thursday Lines. MG, as I said, on fire, $22 a week for his stuff, and then $33 a week for Toprope Tedeschi's, who's now our darts star. And so he's going to give us a little weekly update on how his darts form progresses in the beautiful God Orange country of New South Wales. So that's a wrap from us. Big thanks to Top Sport and Punting Form. And we'll see you next week. And hopefully the darts isn't getting in the way of Nick Tedeschi's NRL tipping. We'll see you next week.